this is Ben.
And this is Paul.
And we are PolyKid, the game development studio behind the 3D platformer Poi.
And today we're going to run through the first 20 minutes of gameplay or so and show you some of the exclusive Switch features and things like that. And yeah, we hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah, so this is a Poi Explorer Edition. It's the special Switch version of the game. It's actually been getting a digital and physical box release, so we're super excited about that. It's being published by Alliance Digital Media. It's a great indie publisher that we're super happy to be working with. So we've had a long journey, and we're super excited that it's finally coming out on Nintendo Switch, which we think is a great fit for Poi. You agree, Paul?
Oh yeah, it's probably the platform we initially envisioned the game to be on. It's the development, to give you a little history, has been around for a couple years, I would say. We've been working on Poi.
Yep.
And the Switch is really the last sort of piece of the puzzle that's finally falling into place.
Yeah, I would say, when Paul and I set off to make a game, we wanted to make a 3D platformer because we grew up playing those games, the classics on Nintendo systems, and we really felt that a game like this belongs on a Nintendo platform. So
yeah, I mean, like Ben said, once you play it on the Switch with the Joy-Con, especially the HD Rumble, feels really fantastic. And the Switch as well, being able to play on the go and just pick it up and put it down whenever you want is really great.
Yeah, so we're super excited that Alliance gave us the chance to put this out in a box, and also to Nintendo as well. With the Switch, they've really been welcoming and trying to get a lot of indie devs like ourselves that are very small to bring games to the platform. So we just want to give a big shout out to those guys as well for helping us there. So
yeah, it's been a really positive experience, and we hope to see Nintendo continue to really foster the indie game developers, and
for sure.
We think they'll continue to do that, and yeah, we look forward to working with Nintendo for as long as we can.
Yeah. So this is the first level that you guys are seeing right now. So this is our tutorial, which is one of the hardest things about making a game, I think, is nailing tutorial, because you don't want to make it too long, you don't want to make it too short. You got to figure out what are the kinds of things that you got to tell people so they can get into the game without holding their hand too much. So I don't know, Paul, we went through this we must have redesigned this level 10 or 15 times.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like Ben said, you never really know how much you want to handhold the player and how much you want to let them, sort of explore on their own. And for this forest, yeah, I probably went through 3 or 4 iterations. There's a little secret, but the forest is actually a little bit larger than we're probably going to run through here in the video. There's a side area that we'll get to later.
Yeah.
But
can't spoil everything for you guys now.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So what you guys just saw there is, if you're not familiar with what Poi is, so Poi is this story of these 2 orphan kids that meet this mysterious old man called the Master Explorer, and he's come across some bad times, and he's lost all of his Explorer medallions, which you just saw the boy character here collect earlier. And so they basically agreed to help this guy out and travel the world of Poi and help him find all of his missing Explorer medallions. And
yeah, throughout that journey, you're going to come across a lot of new characters. There's going to be enemies, some old and some new. There's a few boss fights, scattered throughout the game, and yeah, it's really all about helping the old man and finding his Explorer medallions and trying to make the world a better place.
Yeah. If you've played any of the old classic 3D platformers, all this is going to be very familiar for you. I think one of the things is what we really liked about that genre of games that at the time when we started making this didn't really there wasn't a lot of games out there that kind of captured that. Hey, you throw you into a level, you've got these medallions or these objectives kind of all over the place, and what do you do to find them? So we really wanted to capture that spirit of exploration and kind of what's going to happen in this in this objective or that objective. So that was one of the things that we hope that you guys, when you play it, also feel that we hope that comes across to you guys.
Yeah, and what you're seeing here is a little one of our cutscenes. We don't have a whole lot in the game. We like to leave the player to sort of kind of build their own story and explore as they see fit. But this right here gives a little bit of detail on the Master Explorer, which you'll learn a little bit more as you play too, his backstory and how he kind of got here and where he's going, and
Yep.
you know, we don't want to tell you everything in the first 20 minutes, so you
Yeah.
have to check out the game to really, you know, see where things go.
And one of the big questions is how old is the Master Explorer? And well, he's pretty old, but he's got a pretty awesome whale airship here. So
He's old, but he's got a young heart.
yeah, exactly. So he's firing it up here, and I think the Master Explorer is just happy to finally have some companions to help him out on his journey in finding his Explorer Medallion. So we're taking off here, and off in the distance there you can see that's actually our first level that we'll be taking a closer look at. So the whale ship is departing. So as we load in the sky here, this is our hub world, which is kind of the place that you will start all your adventures from. So right now, you're just kind of in this open sky, and off on the horizon, there's kind of these silhouettes of the levels that you can see, and each level is very different. We've got a wide variety of different kind of level types. You might see like deserts or lava, it's very traditional type levels. But also, as you play through your journey, you will see more and more things happen in this hub. As you meet new characters and levels, things might happen.
Yeah, right now it starts out pretty simple, just kind of guiding you towards the first real obvious silhouette. But yeah, like Ben said, you're going to meet a lot of different characters and creatures, and all sorts of different hub events are going to fire off every time you come back to the hub after getting a medallion. So you never really know what to expect or who's going to appear, until you're sort of progressing through the game.
Yep. So let's talk a little bit about for those of you that have played Poi before and kind of know what it's all about. You might be wondering, well, what's different about the Explorer Edition? Why is this called Explorer Edition on the Switch? And that's because we really wanted to provide a little bit of extra stuff in this version of the game that's not playable, or not available in any of the other versions of the game. So we've got cool things like new costumes, new hats for you to find. We've also got an exclusive soundtrack that's been composed by Lyndon Holland. In the game, we've also got an art book with our never seen before art that unlocks as you collect medallions.
Yeah, the art book's really one of my favorites. I think a lot of art there we've never really shown before.
Yeah.
And you'll unlock these things, through playing the game and earning medallions. So some of them are, going to be harder to get. The more medallions you get, the sort of more rare art you're going to unlock.
Yeah.
Pretty typical, but really I think we're happy with the way that turned out.
Yeah, it's a very neat look into kind of what did the game look like way back when we first started developing, and how did it progress over time, and what does the final art look like as well. So definitely you guys want to check that out. So
yeah. So here we're in Cozy Canyon. You can see we're talking to the Rudy boy there. He's giving us some insider tips about the enemies.
He's like a peanut with a little leaf hat coming out.
Yeah, and I think we'll see in maybe 5 or 10 minutes, we'll see the boss, the Rudy Mayor, if you will.
The mayor of Cozy Canyon. He's very important.
He's quite a character.
Yeah.
So looks like, I think we're probably figuring out the windmill here. For those of you who haven't played the game, it's sort of the first objective is figuring out how to activate the windmill.
Yep. And you can see us doing a lot of like jumps here. So these characters are pretty agile. They can jump, you can double jump in the air, you can do backflips, you can do
wall jumps,
front flips,
ledge grabs,
lots of stuff. And really that's we put in all these moves in an effort to really give people the ability to you see a little hole somewhere, you see a ledge, you have the tools to get there. It might not be obvious at first how you can get to that spot, but we really wanted to give players that ability to explore and try a bunch of different moves to see how they can navigate these 3D worlds.
Yeah, and that's what you're seeing here. We're just kind of taking some time to explore and get a lot of coins, which those will be useful later. I don't think we've explained yet what the coins do, but they're a little bit different than maybe traditional games as far as coins go.
Yep, not just points.
Not just points. They do have a pretty valuable meaning, and they do carry across throughout the levels too. So you can see we've got like 50 some coins here, and when we go back to the hub, those will stay with us.
Yeah, and you can also see that we just found two treasure chests in this level, and that was one of the things that it took a lot of time for us and just lots of iteration to go through each one of these levels and try to put in little secrets and nooks and crannies and cool stuff to find. You also notice at the top these things, locations, like this is the mysterious sand pit. Those are called locations, and they're kind of interesting points of interest that you'll find hidden in each level, and there's actually achievements and medallions that are linked to finding all of these interesting spots in the levels.
Yeah, a little insider tidbit, the locations were probably one of the first features really added to the levels. Those of you familiar with the game know there's golden gears and all sorts of collectibles and fossils.
Yep.
But the locations was really one of the ones we prototyped fairly early on, and they really stuck with us throughout the whole development.
Yeah, because I think it's probably because it all came back to we wanted to make a game about exploration and finding interesting things. So that's kind of, like Paul said, stuck with us throughout the entire development cycle.
Yeah, it's a little invisible reward, for exploring the level. You might, not see something in a particular spot from afar, but if you manage to get up to a certain location and find that, special something, who knows what those will be useful for down the road.
Yep. So you might see these enemies right there. Those are called our bucket heads, and they're probably my favorite character. Why do they wear a bucket on their head? Nobody's really seen what happened to their faces, so maybe you guys will find that out in the course of playing through the game. But they're pretty funny. The sound effects they make are pretty comical, and of course, I love kicking some bucket heads around because they're kind of bullies, and it just feels so satisfying.
The sound effect when you kick them is just great.
Yeah.
That bonk.
Yeah.
I think that was actually a frying pan sound.
Yeah, it was a frying pan sound. So that's and also with things like the HD Rumble on Nintendo Switch makes that even more satisfying. So it's definitely
something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Especially if you've played the game on other platforms. It's definitely worth checking out. For the HD Rumble.
Yeah,
it adds a lot.
Which was one of the things that when we to be completely honest, when we both heard about HD Rumble, it's kind of like, okay, what is HD Rumble? Is it just what is it? We weren't really sold on the idea, I think, until we sat down and we really started messing around with, okay, let's do an HD Rumble for like when you kick something or when you run through grass. And it's actually a really neat feature that is something that's very subtle, but I do think it really it adds to the feeling of the game as you're playing it. So
and so it looks like we're back in the hub here now.
Yep.
And the Master Explorer is he's giving us some information about
there's those coins.
Oh yeah, the coins come up, and is it the sale, or we?
No,
oh no,
it's
we're at the shop.
Yeah.
We're at the shop.
Don't get ahead of ourselves.
Oh yeah, that'll be.
Can't spoil it yet.
We might see that later, but if we don't have time, you'll have to just check out the game.
Yeah, check out the game. What that is. So we're looking at the camera right here, which is it's an expensive item, but it's pretty cool.
It's probably the best.
Yeah, it's the best. So you can take pictures of things in the game and record them in your Explorer's book. Which is kind of something that the Master Explorer gives you. It's a log of all of his previous adventures, and it's kind of something that helps you throughout the game figure out, where you have to go and what you have to do. So
and another insider fact, I don't think we've shared this yet, is the camera, I believe, was the last item we added to the game.
Yeah.
The first item was probably the telescope, I think, and I guess the camera is sort of an evolution of the telescope, but it doesn't have zoom. It's an old school camera. Yeah,
I think as we had we're finishing up the game, we had all these cool locations and characters and creatures and things. We were kind of messing around with things, and we thought, hey, it'd be really interesting to find out more information about these things if we could look at them. So it's kind of, I think the camera with our Explorer tools, we have all these Explorer tools in the game that help you, navigate these levels. It's kind of a natural evolution. Yeah.
So now we're back in Cozy Canyon, and this time it's the Flower Festival.
Yeah.
Which
there's a camera. We'll just take a quick picture of that Rudy boy.
Gotta get the perfect pick.
Yeah.
Try it one more time.
We gotta get him. There you go.
The wave.
Fun-loving group of forest critters. So yeah, we're fans of the cameras.
Yeah, we tried to add a little bit of flavor text, everywhere that we could. So, depending on what you take pictures of, you'll get a little bit more fiction about the game.
Yep.
Oh, that was close.
Don't get hit.
Yeah. Started charging.
And if you guys notice, we're here in this. So we're on the second medallion of Cozy Canyon, and as you kind of saw in the beginning cutscene there, things have changed. There's something going on that we didn't have happening in the previous time we were here. So every objective kind of mixes up the level. You never know what might be going on when you come in. So definitely, it's interesting to come back and figure out what's new, what's changed.
Yeah, and on that note, you don't actually have to get the medallions in this order.
Yep.
It's a little more convenient sometimes, but not all medallions require you to go, sequentially.
Yep. And again, that throws back to we really wanted to nail the ability of not holding players' hands too much and letting people explore levels at their own pace, in their own way. So you can collect most medallions in any, like Paul said, any order. So we hope we hope players appreciate that. And of course, you can always do them in order if you just want, if you want more guidance.
Take it easy, a little bit more of a chilled, relaxed experience.
So here's the Flower Festival, and think, hey, there's the mayor that we were talking about earlier. Mayor.
I love that hat. That's a great hat.
That top hat, some crazy style points right there. So it looks like we got to find some seeds here in these nearby caves. Otherwise, the Flower Festival might be a huge failure.
Yeah, we don't want that. We want it to be a big success.
Oh, here's a seed.
That's a pretty big seed right there.
It's a huge seed. I wonder what's going to grow out of that thing.
Oh, we'll have to find out.
Yeah. Oh, and that's also, we were just in Fox Cave there, which is probably the cutest character in our entire game, as the little fox running around here in Cozy Canyon. So
yeah, you gotta chase that guy down. He's pretty quick though.
Yeah.
And let's see. Oh, one other fact, as we're talking about characters, is all of the characters in the game are actually named by one member of the team, and he is our artist.
Yeah.
He's just really fantastic. We give our input, and for the most part, he was just a really great coming up with those.
Yeah, we really were able to find like an awesome team that we kept it really small because we wanted to be able to move pretty quickly, and we're a small team. We don't have a lot of money to hire a bunch of crazy people, so we really were lucky and grateful to find some awesome team members who really helped bring Poi. It's just Paul and I talking, but really it was a group effort to bring this game to where it's at today. So we're really happy about that.
Yeah, and we really appreciate Alliance as a publisher too, providing a lot of feedback and testing and all sorts of advice for us along the way.
Yeah,
especially for the Switch version.
Yeah, we met those guys at was it
GDC?
At GDC, the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, and
probably a couple years ago actually.
Yeah. So if you got an indie game, I would check them out for sure. They're always looking to help out different teams like ourselves that are small and scrappy and might not have a lot of resources. So they're looking for people to help out. So if you got an indie game, check them out.
Yeah. So let's see how we doing on this level. I think did we get 2 or all 3 of the caves?
I think we got to get. I think we just collected the last one.
We just got the third one.
Yep.
All right. So now we got to go back to the mayor here, and we'll start the
Flower Festival. All right, I wonder who's gonna win.
Oh,
the yellow one looks pretty big to me.
Oh yeah, that's a clear win right there.
Clear winner. All right, well let's hop up there and grab that Explorer medallion. And I guess we could talk about so the release date of this. So you guys have been hearing us talk about the game, but now you're probably wondering, when can I play this awesome Poi Explorer Edition? Well, we're super excited to say it comes out on October 23rd in the US, and it's coming out a little bit later in Europe as well, and that's for both the digital and the physical versions of the game. And it's going to be retailing for $29.99 US dollars. So check it out, and that comes with all the exclusive costumes, hats, in-game soundtrack, the art book. So yeah, we're really excited to see it, on store shelves. So definitely check it out, guys.
Yeah, and looks like we're wrapping up here pretty quick.
This is probably one of the coolest items you get is the.
This is the sale.
The Explorer sale. Yeah. So we see that island out there. It's a new character. Who might it be? But how are we going to get over there? Well, the Master Explorer has a tool for everything. And in this case, it's the Explorer sale. So we'll start our journey there, but you'll have to check out the game to see who's actually there.